Hello and welcome. Before we begin, let me ask you something simple but very powerful. Have you ever noticed that you understand English very well, but when it is time to speak, your voice becomes quiet? Your mind knows the words, but your mouth feels heavy. Your heart beats faster, and suddenly, confidence disappears. If this sounds familiar, stay with me, because today's conversation is not about grammar rules or difficult vocabulary. It is about habits, simple habits that slowly change the way you speak, think, and feel in English. You do not need talent. You do not need perfect pronunciation. You do not need to be fearless. You only need small daily habits. This space is calm. There is no pressure here. You do not need to impress anyone. You only need to listen, relax, and let the ideas flow naturally. English confidence is not something people are born with. It is something they build quietly, day by day, without even noticing. Many people think confident English speakers are special. They believe these people are lucky or gifted. But the truth is very different. Confidence grows from repetition, comfort, and acceptance. Let's talk about why speaking English feels difficult for so many people. Most learners are afraid of mistakes. They worry about grammar. They worry about pronunciation. They worry about being judged. They worry about sounding foolish. And this fear creates silence. Silence becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a wall. But what if I tell you something important? That wall is not strong. It only feels strong because you look at it every day. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. Confidence comes from being okay with not knowing everything. Think about a child learning to speak. The child makes mistakes, many mistakes, but the child keeps speaking. No fear, no shame. That is how language grows. But as adults, we forget this truth. We start thinking language is a test, a performance, a judgment, and that thinking blocks progress. Let's slow down and understand something very important. Speaking English confidently is not about speaking fast. It is not about using big words. It is not about sounding perfect. It is about feeling safe when you speak. And safety comes from habits. Simple habits. Let's explore them slowly. First, let's talk about listening. Listening is the foundation of confident speaking. Many learners want to speak more, but they forget to listen deeply. When you listen daily, your brain starts recognizing patterns. You learn how sentences are built naturally. You learn rhythm. You learn tone. You do not need to understand every word. You only need to feel the flow. Listening while relaxed is very powerful. Listening while tired is also powerful. Listening before sleep allows your brain to absorb language naturally. That is why calm English podcasts work so well. When you listen daily, your brain starts thinking in English without effort. And when thinking becomes natural, speaking becomes easier. Now let's talk about speaking. Most people wait for the perfect moment to speak English. That moment never comes. Confidence grows from imperfect action. Speaking to yourself is one of the strongest habits you can build. You do not need a partner. You do not need an audience. Talk to yourself while walking, while cooking, while traveling. Describe what you are doing. Describe what you are feeling. Describe what you see. At first, it feels strange, but soon it feels normal, and normal creates confidence. Another powerful habit is repetition. Repeating simple sentences every day builds muscle memory. Just like exercise trains the body, repetition trains the mouth. You do not need new sentences every day. You need familiar sentences said with comfort. Confidence is familiarity. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is information. Fear tells you where growth is needed. When you feel afraid to speak, it means speaking matters to you. That is a good thing. Instead of fighting fear, accept it. Say to yourself, I am allowed to make mistakes. I am allowed to sound slow. I am allowed to learn. This inner permission is very important. Now let's talk about mistakes. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are feedback. Every mistake teaches your brain something new. People who improve fast are not people who make fewer mistakes. They are people who make more mistakes without quitting. Confidence is built through survival. When you make a mistake and survive, your brain relaxes. It learns that nothing bad happens. And that changes everything. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Many learners think they need thousands of words to speak confidently. This is not true. You need a small active vocabulary. Active vocabulary means words you use easily. 10 strong words are better than 100 weak words. Use the same words again and again. Use them in different situations. Confidence comes from control, not quantity. Now let's talk about thinking in English. Most learners translate in their head. This slows down speaking and creates stress. Thinking in English starts with simple thoughts. Instead of translating full sentences, think in phrases, short phrases. This is good. I like this. I am tired. I need help. These small thoughts build a bridge. Over time, the bridge becomes strong. Now let's talk about daily habits. Confidence does not come from long study sessions. It comes from short daily contact with English. 10 minutes daily is more powerful than 2 hours once a week. Daily contact keeps English alive in your mind. It becomes part of your identity, and identity creates confidence. Now let's talk about comparison. Comparing yourself to others kills confidence. You do not know their journey. You do not know their struggles. Your only comparison should be with your past self. Ask yourself, am I a little better than before? If the answer is yes, you are winning. Now let's talk about patience. Language growth is slow, very slow, but slow growth is strong growth. Confidence that grows slowly stays longer. Trust the process. Now let's talk about environment. Your environment shapes your confidence. Surround yourself with English in small ways. Change your phone language. Watch short English videos. Listen to English while resting. Let English become normal. Normal removes fear. Now let's talk about mindset. Confidence grows when you stop trying to impress. Speak to connect, not to perform. When your goal is connection, pressure disappears. People do not care about your grammar as much as you think. They care about understanding. Now let's talk about silence. Silence is not bad. Pausing while speaking is natural. Take your time. Slow speech feels confident. Rushing creates mistakes. Now let's talk about confidence in real life. Confidence in English also improves confidence in life. When you can express yourself, you feel stronger. You feel visible. You feel capable. Language is power, not loud power, quiet power. Now let's talk about consistency. Consistency is more important than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Habits stay. Build habits that are easy. Easy habits last. Now let's talk about self-talk. The way you talk to yourself matters. If you say, "I am bad at English," your brain believes it. Change the language. Say, "I am learning English. I am improving. I am practicing." Words shape reality. Now let's talk about confidence moments. Confidence does not arrive suddenly. It appears in small moments. The first time you speak without fear. The first time you understand without translating. The first time you express an idea clearly. Celebrate these moments quietly. They are signs of growth. Now let's talk about long-term growth. Confidence is not a destination. It is a habit. Even confident speakers feel nervous sometimes, but they speak anyway. That is the difference. Now let's take a deep breath. If you are listening to this right now, you are already doing something right. You are learning. You are investing in yourself. You are choosing growth. That matters. Remember this. You do not need to change everything today. You only need to show up tomorrow. One sentence, 1 minute, one habit. Over time, these small actions change your voice. Your voice changes your confidence. Your confidence changes your life. And one day, you will look back and realize something important. English did not become easier. You became stronger. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving yourself this time. Keep practicing. Keep listening. Keep growing. And remember, confidence is not loud. Confidence is calm. See you again.